Anyway, that's kind of why we do the border and the title block. Okay, 1/2 inch on the top. Now, it doesn't matter if there's writing on there because all my writing is outside of the border. Hanson, can I borrow your ruler, please?
Yep.
Okay, here's the time saver for doing title blocks. On this activity, rather than doing one, measuring it, and then doing another one, lay them all out at once. Okay, so I go title block number 1 is going to be right down here. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit. Title block number 1 down at the bottom, I go 1/2 inch. The marks are in every one of the smallest marks there. In between 1/2 inch, there's 4 short marks. Now, let me get this where you can see it a little better. Zoom in. I marked for my first title block at the bottom, 1/2 inch. Then I skip an inch and I go up and I do another title block. I mark 1/2 inch with a mark on 1/16 inch at the top, 3/16, 5/16, and 7/16, the shortest marks. Top and bottom lines are dark. The guidelines in between are very light. Okay, another 1/2 inch up. I marked it 6.5 and 7, and I marked it the only 4 sharp marks between there. 1, 3, 5, and 7/16, the littlest ones. Now I went up an inch, did 1, 3, 5, and 7/16. I marked those. And by measuring them all to start with, it will really speed things up. Okay? I skip an inch, and I go up another 1/2. 1, 3, 5, and 7/16. If you look between the 1/2 inch, there is only 4 very short marks between there. Try the autofocus and see if that helps. Okay? Between 8 and 8.5, there's really about 2, 4, 6, 7 lines between there, but you do not put 7 lines in there. You only put the shortest ones. 1, 3, 5, and 7/16. I say that over and over again. I still, last week, had people putting 5, 6, 7 lines between in their title block. Okay? So, theoretically, you could do up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 title blocks. If you have time, do 5. I said you only have to do 3. And we letter them just so that we can get a little bit of practice lettering. I'm not spending weeks on it, but I'm saying, hey, I want you to get the hang of it. I have one very, very sharp pencil for my guidelines. Okay? As light as I can make them. I make them extremely light. Just the weight of the pencil. And this is a good example where I see, can you tell the difference between your different types of lines? In fact, I'll probably make them so light you won't be able to see them on the video, but I want to show it to you both ways here. So there's title block 1. I did that 1. Now I go up as light as I can. If you want, you could just do the 3 inside, or the 4 inside lines, and then come back and do the top and the bottom ones, which are dark, with a dull pencil. Okay? I will start doing pencil checks and say, have you done, have you brought 2 good sharp pencils? Even if you start with sharp pencils, they'll be dull by the time you're done. Okay, I'm doing a little more than what we have to do here, but I figure as long as I have them laid out, I might as well. I'm doing the inside lines, the 4 inside, light guidelines. The outside ones now, I'm going to either take a dull pencil, or sometimes I just flip it over and have a dull one on the other side. Or you can go to Staples or Kling's and buy a whole little set of pencils. Like, did I show you guys that set of pencils with the full, all the pencils in there? Okay, now, top and bottom line are very dark. Do you see the difference between those lines? You should be able to tell the difference between guidelines and border lines. Those are very dark. Okay, now I'm going to put the vertical lines on there. 2 3/4 of an inch. Oh, I got quite a rip on the paper there. 2 3/4 of an inch. And this dimension is on the top of the pink sheet. It says 2 3/4 to the first one, 3 3/4, and then 5/8 down in figure 5-38. Generally, after I do this, I do not have to do any more mention of the title block. After you make 3 or 4 title blocks, people have it for the rest of their life. You'll just remember them. Here's a shortcut. This will save you a lot of time. If you mark out the first title block, 2 3/4. From that one, 3 3/4. From that line, not from the border. The last one for the drawing number is 5/8 of an inch. Half of an inch is 4/8, so 2 marks after that would be 5/8. Here's the biggest time saver I can give you right here. Now that I've marked one title block, I just do all of these at the same time. You know what I mean? Right down there. This is a pretty common practice used in drafting, like when you make things like ceiling tiles, or you make things like bricks in a foundation. You line up your, oh, darn it. I was thinking of doing bricks or roofing tiles. You line them up and then you skip a line, like you go every other one, and it makes a pattern. Like if that one had a line here, then you'd go halfway between and do one on this side, one on this side, one on this side in the spaces, and you get things that look, I don't know if you can see the pattern there, kind of like bricks. That's how they do that so fast without having to measure it every single time. Just make them down. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not, but just skip a line. I should not have done that one, and I even darkened it. So if you have to use the erasing shield, it's over there. And now the last thing you need to do, lettering it, all capital letters, single stroke Gothic. You can either do like they have in the book there on page 79, where it says name of your school, school location, title of drawing. So I put over here in all capital letters, I'm just going to put my name inside the lines, all capitals. School, I can just put LMS. And then in the middle, I usually say put the date you began the drawing and the date you finished it, so 3/5, that way I know if you're done or not. 3/5/12, and then down here 3/5/12. The alternative is to put what they put in the book. Title of drawing, this would be, you would put title block practice, lettering practice, drawing number. This is TB1, title block 1, TB2, TB3, title block 3, and then over here in this one, I think that we have the first period. Okay, so if you don't have time to finish them today, that's all right. Do at least 3 title blocks. The text starts on 68 and goes up to about 77, all capital letters, and that's a wrap. Cut.